What's up, what's up, what's up, my fellow creators? Welcome, guys. I hope you're having a phenomenally blessed day. Thank you for joining me for another moment in Topics with Becky. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel down below, set that notification bell so you'll always know when the next video does go live. And with that being said, I'm actually not sure if I'm going to make this a grief series or not. However, I'll name it a grief series. I probably need to do more anyways, but this can also be in the inspirational video. So wherever you guys click on it at, thank you for joining me. And I just want to thank you to my OGs, my new Gs, and any of my returning subscribers, anybody that allows me your most precious asset, your time. It is truly an honor, a blessing, and a privilege and a pleasure being here, giving you guys these messages. And my prayer, as always, is that they fall upon your heart in a way that reminds you to use your discernment, your intuition, to take back your power and to go live your best journey. So I came across this quote. It is from the Bible. All right. Yes, guys, I'm going there. The 111 on the clock. Have faith. Have faith, source says. So I feel like I'm going to bring this into the grief series just simply because I feel like after the last one that I just did, this goes kind of hand in hand with the prior grief video, which is about the frustration, grief and frustration, okay? Let me read this. It says, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted." Matthew, verse 4. Matthew 5, verse 4. My bad. Okay, so blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. This is something that I think a lot of people struggle with because we've never been taught how to use our emotions to our advantage. Rather, we've been shown or accused or told that we need to bottle them up and to not feel them. You know, I know a lot of men struggle with this. They struggle with feeling, and especially mourning. Like, grief is such a heavy thing, right? It's something that you can wear on your shoulders, in your heart, in your stomach, in your head. Like, if you could wear it anywhere in the body, it would be anywhere in the body, right? It would be. You know, hold on to it. You can't let it go. You can embrace it. You can do all these things with it. You can walk with it, right? Grief is one of those feelings that just basically from head to toe will have you stuck. Or it can empower you. And I talk about this because it's like getting lost in grief can happen. I've been there. I was lost in grief. You know, when my brother passed away, it happened so suddenly. We'd all just seen him. In fact, I just got a message from him that morning. And I got the phone call and my whole world stopped. Nothing moved. And as time went on, it was like I was getting brides from everyone because I wasn't there as a person. I just wasn't there. I was in this daze. It didn't feel real. It didn't feel real. And I cried, but I couldn't cry how I needed to cry until I was asleep. At night, I would go to sleep and I would wake up. And when I woke up, I would remember. And it was so between spaces, right? Between the ether and between the 3D when you're in the dream world, that it would just come out. And the sobs. I would ask why. Why? He was young. Why? And his 9-year anniversary is coming up in just a week or so. And it's difficult. It's difficult, guys. I remember my work gave me bereavement. And I took it and plus some PTO because I was just devastated. And when I went back, one of the managers was dealing with her father was sick, and her it was a weird situation, right? I felt like she was coming at me. I'm just gonna be real with you guys right now. I'm gonna break it down and be transparent with y'all right now. I felt like she was coming at me because I just experienced my brother's death, and she's like, it's not as worse as it's not as bad as watching someone die, and I hadn't experienced that, and so to me, in my mind, it felt worse because it was so sudden, right? Of course it did. Okay, this is why I'm being real with you guys. And that kind of put me in a space where I didn't want to mourn anymore because now I was just mad. I was experiencing the anger and I didn't want to mourn over my brother, which is what was the right thing to do. It would have been the healthy thing to do. Rather, I allowed someone's words to put me into a space that put me into blocking myself from my emotions. And so that's why sometimes it still comes up for me. I still cry about my brother, guys. That's grief. You'll be doing something and then all of a sudden they'll cross your mind and you'll remember something and you'll just be in tears. Like that's just part of it. But being able to accept that is the comforted part, right? Where source comes in, just knowing that it's just part of being human. So as time went on, then my mom got sick and I experienced exactly what she went through. I watched my mother die. And my dad and I were talking about it. And we both, I don't know how we got onto this subject. I'm sure I remembered this situation and I brought it up and I was talking to my dad. And we both said, one is not worse than the other. Death is death. Death is death. That's it. Having someone go quickly versus watching someone fade away. And in my mind, I would choose the one going quickly for most people just because I don't feel like we should all suffer that way, but we don't have control over that. We don't. So when my mom passed away, we had promised not to cry in the hospital room or around her. We didn't want her to really see how bad things were, even though she knew, but we just didn't want that to be a constant reminder. And so we kept from crying. And I didn't mourn. I didn't cry. When she passed away, I was just like so numb. It's like, all right, she's not hurting anymore. I mean, I cried tears, but it wasn't like I did not mourn. So let's fast forward a little bit. On the journey, I realized I had to do some shedding, and I went through this journal. It was Writing to Heal the Soul. It was a great book. And I filled up a journal. It was like one of the first journals I filled up. It was a big deal for me. It was so wonderful, and I still have it. I still have the journal, guys. Such a neat experience. And what ended up happening was I realized that I had been holding in things for so long, and I finally got a chance to grieve not only my mother but my brother. I mourned. I took time to myself, and I cried 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 some more and I cried some more. I did. I cried. I'm being honest, guys. Like, I cried for days. I cried until there were no tears left to cry. I just let it be. I never stopped it. I just let it happen. And then, finally, for the first time, I felt like I could breathe. After years of harboring and holding that grief inside, I was finally able to breathe. So they say, blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. The blessings are not material things. The blessing is being comforted. And that is something that can be applied to any part of life, whether you're Christian or Catholic or spiritual or whatever. Source will comfort you if you let the emotions flow. Mourning can be many things. There's so many things that go into mourning. You have the anger, the denial, the grief, the sadness, the sorrow, right? The depression, and then finally acceptance. And it's in that acceptance that you become comforted. So see, it doesn't just have to be with the spiritual aspect. This can be psychological. There's truth in this saying, though. That's why I tell you my story, right? Because the thing is that without having gone through that with the manager at that time, I wouldn't have known what would have cut me off, but I'm sure there would have been something, because there's a lesson there for me that I needed to learn. And that was to not let what everyone else is doing and where everyone else is at to judge where I needed to be. I needed to be right where I needed to be. And the healthy thing is to experience and feel our emotions as they arise. It's simple, not easy, but simple. Can you embrace that simplicity and step with that and trust source and know that as long as you feel whatever it is that's going on, that you will be comforted? And that is a blessing. Release is a blessing. Spiritual growth is a blessing. Love is a blessing. A roof over your head is a blessing. The clothes on your back is a blessing. The breath in your lungs is a blessing. What are blessings? Blessings are many. Embrace them. Okay? This is what I have for you guys. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel down below, set that notification bell so you always know when the next video does go live. And with that being said, until next time, go forth boldly, my fellow creators, and courageously find creative ways to rise above in life, laughter, and love. Until we see each other again, mwah, peace out. I love y'all. Bye.